Well, hello, everybody. This is David Daniels, Red Dirt University. Got my friend, Mr. Reid Haughton.
Your daddy hands you a hand-me-down six string. Said that's for making country music, son. Let's keep it that way. So you learn John Deere Green with two broke strings and sing it at the top of your lungs. Didn't know if you'd ever get too far, but that's how it starts. And it's kinda like someday you'll find yourself in a state that you ain't ever been before. And I ain't talking about the kind with gold dogs, gamecocks, tigers, who roll tide roll. Yeah, I'm talking about the kind where your mind's on a girl that's got your heart. And all it takes is a fake and a hay in the back of the bar. That's how it starts.
That's how you say your last name, right?
That's right, yeah. Everybody has a hard time with it. It's all good.
So we have a little town right here outside of Bossier City where I live, and it's called Haughton, but it's Haughton. So I said, oh, well, I better make sure that's how you.
Yeah, no, I'm HAU.
Or is it? Okay. I didn't know it was
Yeah,
HAU.
because I think back in the day, like somebody in my family got some stickers from that town, and we had
Oh,
them
really?
like stuck all over like our little Ranger we had at the house. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Haughton is it's a pretty cool town. It's got it's one of the fastest growing because it's like 10 minutes from downtown area, but it's still in the country. So it's where everybody wants to live for sure.
Oh yeah, I've never been down there, but I'd like to go visit it. I've never.
Yeah, man, you need to come down here.
Just to say I've been to a place with my name, that's cool.
That's right. Yeah, well, you need to get freed up and come by the shop and hang out and everything. We'll
Yeah, for sure.
Get you somewhere to play down here. We got plenty of spots, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, that's one place I haven't been down to play yet. It's Louisiana. Looking forward to doing that at some point.
Where do you play usually? Like I know you're from Alabama.
Yeah, so we've been playing a bunch in Alabama over the past 4 years, and then we're playing in Georgia, every now and then, not near as much as Alabama, obviously, but a pretty good bit. And then we played a whiskey jam in Nashville, so we've done the Tennessee thing. I don't think we've really played Mississippi. We've played Florida. I've done quite a few solo acoustic things in random places. Like I played a solo acoustic thing in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly just, I would say that full band stuff is mostly just right here around the neighboring states of Alabama for right now.
Like full band primarily what you play, or do you do a lot of acoustic shows still?
I would say it's pretty split. Like luckily, and I was thinking about this earlier today, actually, I don't know why, for whatever reason, but I have been doing a ton of like solo acoustic things, and which I think a lot of that is probably like, from being in college down here at Auburn, just meeting random people's parents or want to have some event, blah blah. But yeah, which that's a good source of income for sure, as far as because obviously you're paying out more people playing these full band shows, but
yeah,
that's fine too.
I get it, man. It's same way out here. For at least in my situation, COVID is still kind of affecting some of the venues here. Last I heard, the governor didn't renew whatever proclamation that he had made about venues. It's weird, man, because in Texas they're wide open, and we're like 10 minutes from Texas. But here you can't have a show where people aren't seated. So you can't have like a standing room show. It's got to be a table sale or something like that.
Right.
So it's a lot of restaurants, any events that they are doing, they've got to sell tables, not individual tickets. And so nobody's really doing a lot of full band shows right now.
And that's how it was up here too. It was like all like everything had to be seated and whatever, really strange rules or whatever. But it's like you're saying in Texas, it's been wide open here. We're playing a show on Friday that's full capacity. It's just like normal. So it's cool to see it come back. We've been lucky to be playing a bunch over the past 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. So you play all over kind of. I saw the other day, were you playing at Floribama, or is that a show that's coming up, or you did play it?
Yeah, that's July 23rd, I believe. Nice. It is. And yeah, we've played on there once before. We played a whiskey jam event down there. Like Brent Cobb was a headliner. It's a pretty cool acts down there. But yeah, we were playing like one of the earlier slots and like a little side stage. But yeah, this time we're playing like, it's actually like our gig. We're playing like the 6 o'clock time slot at in the tent stage. So
Oh yeah. So
I'm
the one,
excited about it. Yeah, it's
yeah, that's
gonna be
awesome.
awesome. The pictures and videos I've seen from there to look insane. So I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. Be good content for you too for
No
promoting
doubt. Yeah.
stuff afterwards. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went. I've been there twice, but I went there once when a band was playing in the tent stage and everything. And dude, it was so much fun. And
Yeah.
they were just like a cover band that played. It wasn't even really my necessarily kind of music, I guess, that I really listened to, but they were great and everybody was partying, having a good time, and it was
Oh yeah.
packed, dude. Especially in July, God, that place will be slammed.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about it. And like it's cool, like because you go there and you'll see like all kinds of different stuff. Like I mean, I saw some band there the other night, like on somebody's video, and they were just playing like straight like 80s rock
Hmm.
stuff. And
Yeah,
then like you might go in the next room and it's somebody playing like 90s country, you
yeah,
know? So
yeah.
it's like all over the board. And that's what's cool about being an artist there is like they give you nothing about like what to play, what not to play. They're like, you got 4 hours or whatever it is to do whatever you want to do, pretty
Get
much.
after it. Yeah, that's awesome,
Yeah.
dude. So, the style of music you play, obviously you play country. You kind of, I've listened to a good bit of people that don't know. How would you describe kind of your sound or what y'all generally play?
Well, the live show thing is definitely more like country rock, I guess you would say, kind of like I don't know, red dirt, if that's what you people want to call it. But yeah, I mean, I guess the music I'm putting out is probably a little bit softer than that, but it's like I don't know, a lot of like 2000s country kind of vibes, you know, like so it's definitely not pop country, but I wouldn't say it's rock. So
Right, right.
you know, it's some mix between all the stuff, probably just stuff I listened to growing up, I guess.
That's the cool thing about it, and the thing that I think that I want to do with this podcast is let people know how far the red dirt scene kind of reaches. So
Oh
like
yeah,
if you lived in Louisiana or Texas, you would be a red dirt artist based off of the
oh
music
yeah,
that you play, but you're not seen as that because you're in Alabama. You know what I mean? I don't get that. But then you've got like Zach Bryan. I don't know if you listen to him much,
yeah.
but like Zach is up in Washington State or he's somewhere up north, and still red dirt artist, but he's up
Right.
there because he's popular in Texas and Oklahoma, you know.
Well, it's
So
weird, you know, like you see some people like I feel like Alabama out of all like you know, Georgia is definitely like such a Nashville scene or whatever, but like Alabama, I feel like it's kind of like leaning into the red dirt thing a lot
sure.
more because you have people like Muscadine Bloodline has like went straight red dirt, like that's all their friends, like
Hmm.
they're not signing a deal in Nashville as far as I know, and like those are their buddies, you know. So I think that's cool to see that kind of thing going on because it's cool for people like me who you know seem to fit in that vein better.
For sure. And definitely a couple guys that I want to get on the show one day. And they're playing a show like an hour and a half from here tomorrow at Bonita Creek Hall in Nacogdoches. And
Muscadine is.
yeah. And
Oh yeah,
so they're like right across the state line tomorrow night. Those guys are awesome, man.
yeah, they're great dudes. I'm sure they would be down to get on here. Just hit those guys up. They're really nice dudes. They've always been nice to me, so I'm sure they would be down.
Yeah, I messaged them on Instagram one time. I kept getting asked if their song CB Radio was about my dad because my dad was an evangelist and he used to talk to people, like preach to people over the CB radio and did it
That's
all the
crazy.
time. Yeah, and he was like, "No, man, it's just an idea we had while we were traveling." But I'm telling you, like he did it everywhere we went, and we were gone 48 weeks a year traveling in a motorhome, but
Yeah,
do that all the time and like
dude, that's cool, man.
yeah, and the reason I call them is I did have you may not have heard the song, but there's a guy named Ross Ellis. He's a Nashville guy that he's from Monterey, Louisiana, which is kind of close to Mississippi. And he wrote a song called "By and By," and it was like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
number one song on Sirius for a little while in country
Yeah, I
music.
heard it on the highway.
Yeah, well, the opening line goes, "My preacher's name was Jack Daniels." He wrote that about my dad. Like he actually did write that one because my dad had led him to the Lord at a revival in Monterey, like him and his grandpa. And so like he was actually referring to my
Oh
dad in
my
that one.
gosh,
Yeah. So
that's crazy,
yeah.
dude.
So I was getting like 5 messages a day, and I had never listened to the song because I didn't listen to Sirius Radio. And so I look it up, and I'm like, that's oddly coincidental, but maybe it was a metaphor or whatever, And so same thing, I DM'd him and he was like, bro, we got to get together and write. Like your dad meant the world to me or whatever. So it was
That's
a weird,
crazy, man.
yeah, it was crazy coincidence. But after that, I said, well, I'll take a stab with CB radio and see if it is too, man. But no, those guys seem awesome though. They were super polite whenever I was messaging back and forth with them. But
Yeah,
they're
that's
definitely,
nuts.
yeah. Once we get the studio finished here in a couple of weeks, I plan on reaching out to them, see if we can either meet up with them or get them out here, one or the other, and do a podcast. It'd be pretty cool.
For sure.
Yeah, those guys are they're killing it too. They stay super busy. But so you've got to play with have you got to play with them?
Oh, I've never played a show with them, but I've been around them a couple times. Like they used to come through Bourbon Street down here in Auburn, and like we'd hang out with them or whatever. Just because like obviously they were friends with like the owners of Zydeco, like all the 65 South and Peachtree Entertainment people. So like that, that connected us or whatever. But yeah, I would just see them then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've played with some other bigger artists, like just doing the opening slots or whatever.
Yeah. So your dad told me that, which for people that don't know, your dad and I worked together kind of indirectly. But he was telling me you got to play a show with like Co before and got to play with some of the bigger Red Dirt guys.
Yeah, dude. I did a show with Co at Druid City in Tuscaloosa, Alabama,
Okay.
and it was just a one night thing, which was sick. Like I mean, especially at that time, like that was when they were like, I don't know. I feel like they were just really getting hot to me, like in Alabama. I'm sure they were absolutely huge before, obviously if they're coming over here to play. But that was when like Austin was like really big and all, like before this, definitely before Sellout. I think it was before Harold Saul came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was sick. And then I went on like a weekend run with Mike Ryan,
Oh,
Huntsville and Birmingham, and he's like one of my favorites. Like I would say that's probably more so like what my music leans towards. It's like that kind of thing.
yeah. I love Mike Ryan, man. I play a couple of his songs whenever I'm doing like cover shows and stuff like that, but unbelievable vocalist. And
Oh yeah, dude.
I've never been to one of his shows. So him and Whiskey Myers are two artists that I respect a crazy amount. And I've never been to one of their shows, and I'm a big concert junkie in general. And so those two are top of my list to get out to go see. But I've heard he's a really great guy. I've got some friends.
Oh, dude, he's such a nice guy. Like he's just honestly, you can't believe he like gets up there and does that after you talk to him because he's just
Really?
so laid back. He's just like, "What's up?" Like he's just so like such a nice laid back guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So out of you've been playing for a little while now. How did you kind of get started in all this?
So I started playing guitar when I was like 7 or 8,
Hmm.
and you can't really play like there's no bars in my hometown, which is Haleyville, Alabama. I mean, it was a dry county until I was like, I don't know, like 12 or something.
Really?
A long time. So like there was nowhere to play. I mean, you could maybe play at a restaurant or whatever, but
Yeah.
nothing worth it. So I didn't even really play anything. I mean, I'd play like high school events or whatever, like here and there, or the town would be having some kind of random thing. I was a worship leader at my church from 7th or 8th grade till I graduated. So that was like the only time I was really playing, which was once or twice a week, which was enough to keep me going. But so I came to Auburn in 2017 is when I graduated high school. So yeah, I guess fall. And started playing a bunch at these bars down here, Bourbon Street, and then that they were friends of the people at Zydeco, so that led to playing that scene, and then kind of ran me into the Peachtree Entertainment people, like Bradley Jordan, who owns that, and Lane Flournoy, who owns 65 South.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys just got behind me and started booking me some opening slots or whatever for random people, like the Co Show and the Mike Ryan, like all that stuff was with them. Just throw me a bone here and there, and just one thing led to another. Put out a song, like I think probably like 1 year into it, just kind of, I mean, I didn't really think much about it. I just kind of like, I'm just going to do this because I randomly had enough money to do it. And I was like, whatever, like I'm just doing it for myself at this point, basically. Then it just one thing led to another, and here we are. But it just kind of snowballed, and it's been honestly insane. It's kind of weird to think about how it all happened, because it's just like it seems made up a little bit to me.
Yeah.
It's like you can't really believe that it all led to. I mean, I'm about to sign a publishing deal in
Oh,
July.
awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's just crazy. Like I've got an awesome team, and it's really cool. It makes no sense to me though, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's like, and all the work that you've put into making all that stuff happen. Cause I'm sure even with the acoustic shows, even if you have help booking, I'm sure there's a long time of making phone calls. Hey, can I come play? Can I come play? And that's where I know myself and like a lot of artists that are upcoming, I don't think people realize how much work it is on the back end, And my favorite thing is whenever people tell me, "Oh, you should go play it like, such and such." Like, oh, I would love to do that. I don't just walk in and say I'm going to come play at your bar,
Right, right.
But I think that people don't realize how much work goes into the back end. But having some help with that is super crucial. And two, I feel like getting on those bigger act bills, you almost have to have some type of team with connections to do that.
No doubt. And I mean, is weird as it is to like face the facts of it, like this whole business is like largely based on perception. So like if the consumer is watching you play shows with somebody they think's super famous,
Mhm.
like for whatever reason that means a lot to the listener. So they're more prone to go and listen to your whatever you're putting out. I feel.
Not only that, but even where you play, it's like
Oh,
if you
no doubt, yeah.
venue, it's like, oh, well, he's playing there, we've seen
That's
that.
what, yeah. Like I've always been, and like no offense, obviously, to anyone who's like playing these scenes, 'cause I think the route's different for everyone. Like I've always tried to be careful about like playing a gig that's too small, like, or at least, or I'm not opposed to doing it. Like I'll play the gig, but pushing that gig, like trying to
Right.
promote that gig that you're playing at,
Yep.
such and such restaurant, like that's fine. It'll
Yep.
pay, it'll give you money, and
Mhm.
that might be your route to do it. But I think sometimes we got to be careful because, like I was saying, like, you know, perception means so much to some of these people who are living through their phone screen.
And that's the kind of point where I'm at in my career is right now. I've got, I mean, if I want to play restaurants throughout, or bars, local scene around here, Texas, Louisiana, Arklatex, call it, then I'd be booked every weekend. I mean, like last week on Monday, the last 7 days I played 6 shows. You get burnout real quick, but they're
Oh
all
yeah,
within 45 minutes of each other. So how do you tell a audience member or a potential person to come and hear you play, say, oh, you should come hear me at this restaurant, but not this one, or you should come see me at this bar, but not this one, when they're in the same town. And
right, right.
that's why I play with other acts or at bigger venues. They make you sign a clause saying you're not going to play anywhere within 50 miles for 6
Oh
months,
yeah,
you know? And so that's kind of where I'm at now, is after COVID, which Casey Donahue really saved my butt. I don't know if he knows it or not. I'm sure he doesn't know it, but he gave me very sound advice in College Station last February. I just come off the tail of playing the show with Tyler Farr, and we had this big sold out show. It was great. Like, had a new single on the radio. Like, it was killing it. I was booking shows left and right, full band and acoustic shows, a lot of momentum. And I just tell him, I was like, man, the time I was working the oil field, and I was like, man, I think I'm about to just go full time with this thing and really try to do it. And he told me, he said, man, he said, do not quit your job. So whatever you do, don't quit your job. And I was like, what are you
yeah,
talking about, man? Like, I mean, this thing's taking off. I want to put more time into it because I know I'll be more successful, which is true. He said, well, I'll tell you this. He said, my band made, and he told me how much, an absurd amount of money 1 year. He said, and I was still working a day job. He said, anybody else would have said that that was an extremely successful, band, but I wanted to make sure that I could support my guys no matter what happened. So that was in February, and COVID happened in March. So, and every show I had booked got canceled. So just like everybody, and so he really saved my butt because I stayed working for a while. And, But the reason he told me that is he said, man, you need to have the income set aside where if I call you and say, hey, you want to play for me in, Lubbock, which is 9 hours from me. You want to come play for me in Lubbock tomorrow night or, in 2 months. How much would you charge? He said, if you come play for me in Lubbock for $100, I'm going to hire you versus so-and-so's band that's going to come charge me $1,000. And, he said, because at the end of the day, it comes down to money and availability. So he said, if you can travel and go and play a show for cheaper, you're going to have more opportunity to play for some of these guys. And so I took a lot of weight in that, and he's been right, so saved me then and saved me during COVID for sure. So
That's cool, man. I think my future roommate, about to be roommate, is like been playing some shows with Casey Donahue. His name's Grant Gilbert.
Oh yeah,
And he's
Grant
from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's about
Grant's
to be my
friend is from the town I live in.
no way. Yeah, he's about to be my roommate actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I met Grant in College Station at that same conference I was talking about with Casey. Grant puts out some great stuff, man.
Yeah.
Great artist, really.
So we have the same manager, and we're at the same pub.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I've only met him once. I wrote with him the first day I met him, and then left Nashville. But
Mhm.
we're about to be living together in the next month or two.
Dude, small world. No, I actually, the other day I was looking through Facebook, and I don't know the girl, and but I kept seeing like her name pop up or whatever on my Facebook page, and I asked my girlfriend, I was like, "Do you know this girl?" And she said, "Yeah, that's so and so." It said, in fact, her boyfriend's like a musician or something, so he's always posting him. So I went in and kind of looked at her Facebook, and I was like, "Wait a second." I started looking through. I said, "That's freaking Grant Gilbert." I said, so I know him from Texas." Which again, I didn't hang out with him. I don't seem like I know him or anything, but we had met at that conference and seemed like a nice guy. I just, I have one of his songs on my playlist and everything. I guess Held On To, the last one he did, or the earliest one, but that was still kind of blowing up back in February, and he was really riding high from that. So, but no, he's great. He just released an album, huh?
Yeah, so he did like a little EP, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many songs, but yeah, he's been writing a ton. Like he's still kind of like halfway living in Texas. Like he told me like he's gonna be living with me like 7 days out of every month or something. So he's coming in to write a little bit, and he's going back to Texas and playing a bunch of shows. But like he just signed his publishing deal like 2 or 3 months ago, and like we have the same manager, so
Gotcha.
that's how I met him.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's great too. It's going to help y'all collaborate. So much of this crap, say this for people listening, because just as well as I do, networking, connections, who it ain't like a name dropping thing. It's just like, dude, being able to know people that are connected with so-and-so knows this person at this venue. It's crucial.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like that's what I tell everyone. It's just a business like anything else. You just gotta meet the right people and keep on being nice to everybody, talking to everybody.
Yep. So what's next for you? You got anything in the works recording wise, or I know you got the publishing deal coming. So
yeah, so I cut four. So I spent the last summer in Nashville writing at River House, and then I cut 4 songs at Sound Emporium in Nashville in September, and we have released 2 of them. How It Starts and Good Time Better have been the last 2 singles, and both of those were from that batch. And there's 2 more, and one of them we just got the master back. Like, yeah, I think I got it yesterday actually. So we're just trying to set a release date and be strategic about when we're going to do that. And so we got that single coming out, and then the 4th one and final one from that batch will, I guess, come out in probably August or so.
Awesome.
And then we'll just get back to work on it. I mean, I'll be writing a ridiculous amount over the next little bit. So obviously just be trying to catch some stuff, maybe put out an EP or something. That's what I would like to do. We'll see what they have in mind up there though.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, something I band and I is working on too. We're trying to decide if we're going to do an EP or a full album. In your opinion, because you know more of the logistical stuff on releasing stuff, do you think that guys are intentionally doing these EPs on newer artists? I've got buddies that say, well, I want to do a full album, so I got more content to play at live shows and stuff like that, which I understand. Same thing, getting on Spotify playlists and everything else, doing a single or an EP is kind of, you got to weigh both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously as musicians, like we want to put out the album, we want to put out the EP, like we want to put out something that's like a project, like a collection of ideas or whatever, you know. And that's like the nature of what we want to do. But I mean, I personally think that as far as like in what we're doing in this kind of country scene, like the way the market's turned is like it's there. Everyone's attention span is so short.
For
Like
sure.
they won't even take 30 more seconds to listen to
Mhm.
15 seconds each of the next two songs. If you put out three, they're just going to hit the first one.
Yep.
That's probably going to be all there is to it, or whichever one is they're seeing pop up on their social media or whatever. So I think it's kind of like a toss up, because I mean, I think the cool thing to do is put out the EP or put out the album. Like that's what's cool and fun. And like, you know, it's a huge project and it takes a ton of work and a lot of time. And then it's something amazing to be proud of. And, you know, not taking anything away from a single, I think it's great too. But I just think everyone's attention span is so short. Like the best way to snag everyone is a single right now, in which, you know, we're seeing people like Eric Church or Wallen like put out these huge, you know, double albums or whatever, triple albums. And I think that's cool, but you have to be, I mean, you got to be Eric Church or Morgan Wallen to do that. You know, I think personally, and, you know, I don't sit at a desk and, you know, pitch songs for a reason, but I think that, you know, in just my opinion of what I see, I think that's, you know, that's been the way I've seen work for people at our level.
For sure. And while we're on the side, I talked to somebody about this the other day. I think he's on one of the episodes, but I looked the other day because, you know, like if you keep it 3 minutes, it's radio ready is what kind of the gold standard has been. If you go through and look at like the Dangerous album, I'm trying to pull it up so I can tell you, but on like the time that of each one of his songs is insane. Like there's so many sub 3 minute songs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because actually I was actually thinking the same thing this morning, because I was looking at the master of my next single and I think the time on it was like 2 minutes and 50 seconds or something, and I was like, huh? And like I was on, you know, I was honestly thinking like I wasn't sure if, you know, the middle time between things or solos here and there were enough passes. It seems kind of short, but yeah, I mean that's what they say. You know, it seems like songs are getting shorter, which is
so the most
it's my idea of their attention span.
Yeah, the most successful country album of all time. Sand in My Boots, 3 minutes 23 seconds. Wasted on You's 2:59. Somebody's Problem 2:42, 2:38, 3:11, 2:37, 3:40, 3:01, 3:03, 3:06. Like they're all at 3 minutes or under. And I just thinking, good God, Mac, it really is. People are just not paying attention.
It's pretty crazy. And like so many of like the greats, I feel like you go back and look at it, like there's like so many famous songs that are like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, but then you have like people like Blackberry Smoke just put out a new album and it's absolutely killer. And like I bet the shortest song, I haven't looked, I don't know this, but like one of the songs that I've been listening to a lot was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I bet they're all like 3:30 plus, you know, which is like sick. But the rest, you know, I wish that could sell on the radio, but
Yeah,
you know.
and that's the thing is they just don't care. Like I mean,
well,
you
yeah,
know,
they can make the money other ways.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. They're going to
They can
get
sell
out
enough tickets that it don't matter.
Yep, yep. Those guys are freaking awesome. That new Steel Woods album is so good. But it's the same way. Like you don't even know where one song starts and one song ends. It's just like a 30-minute song, essentially. You know, it's been freaking amazing.
Super cool, yeah.
Yeah, really enjoy that. Well, man, where where are you headed next? So you got Floribama in July. You still playing like a bunch of shows right now? Still pretty regular?
Yes. So, and I don't know when this will be out, but so I'm playing this Friday at Zydeco in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mhm.
And then the next Saturday, which will be June 11th in Coleman, Alabama, at like a city event. And then I think I'm going to the beach for a little bit, and then the Floribama is July 23rd, and I'm sure there's something I'm missing in between then, or something that will come up for sure, but nothing
Where,
huge on there.
where's the best way for people to like find you, or probably Instagram, I guess, the idea?
Yeah, so I'm Instagram or Facebook at Reid Haughton Music. And I'm always pushing wherever I'm going to be. You can easily find it on there.
It's REID.
Yeah, REID HAUGHTON.
Cool.
Reid Haughton Music on all those, and obviously you can find me on Spotify and Apple Music or Amazon Music, wherever in the world you listen to music at. There's so many platforms these days, but
For sure.
just Reid Haughton. And I think it actually on my Spotify, it's they list dates on there for anything
cool.
that's decently big, I think.
Awesome.
Or either that or my management's doing it and they're not telling me what to.
Somebody is getting done. That's all that matters.
Yeah, somebody's doing it. But yeah.
Very cool, man. So but I want to get you you have a guitar handy where you can play something?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll get you to do that just so people can hear you and everything. And I'll play some of your stuff on Spotify at the beginning of the video so people kind of know what they're going to be listening to. But one thing I've wanted to start asking people, where to date is your favorite place that you've had the opportunity to play yet? It's like favorite venue.
Ooh, I'd probably say Georgia Theater in Athens. Yeah, that's a really crazy venue, and just like the names on the wall are obviously insane.
Okay. So and that I'm the same way. It means a ton to me to go play somewhere where everybody I've looked up to musically has went and played. Like, I mean, I played a show at Shreveport Municipal one time, and like they had the Louisiana Hayride there. Like Johnny Cash has played there, Hank Williams. Like nobody was there just to see me. You know what I mean? Like it was part of a big event, but just to be able to stand there and you're in the freaking green room, all these guys were in. I don't know. It means a lot to me, to be able to go there. Just nothing special about necessarily the building or any different than any other show, but just being able to be in the same kind of environment is cool to me.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, cool, dude. What are you gonna play for us?
You think this is gonna like blow the sound out with me singing with this AirPod in?
Possibly. It may work better if we go to
get off there. I'll Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, sweet.
Do a little one about this is about where I grew up in Haleyville, Alabama. This one's called Ain't Close to Anywhere. They talk about our dirt roads covered in chert rock. They say it can't be nothing from the boondocks. Don't need no big city, it's bound to tear me down. Don't know how I'd feel with no cotton in the ground. Go on and tell me I need to get out of here, running through my ear. Gonna tell you about a place that ain't got a name or a dot on an old road map, where the wind chimes sing and the tractors are green, and we stay right where we're at. Get out of Dodge, don't mean a damn thing around here, 'cause it ain't close to anywhere. You can ask my granddad, they try to tear it down, put street lights in an interstate, hit it southbound. That money couldn't change him, didn't need the big man. That brand new black top would have took his deer stand. Gonna tell you about a place that ain't got a name or a dot on an old road map, where the wind chimes sing stay right where we're at. Get out of Dodge, don't mean a damn thing around here. 'Cause it ain't close to anywhere. You can't have our dirt road, we won't sell the farm. Yeah, this old boy ain't going very far. I'm gonna tell you about a place that ain't got a name or a dot on an old road map, where the wind chimes sing and the tractors are green, and we stay right where we're at. Get out of Dodge, don't mean a damn thing around here. Yeah, get out of Dodge, don't mean a damn thing around here. 'Cause it ain't close anyway. It ain't close anyway. It ain't close anyway.
Man, I love it. Is that that's your newest release, huh?
No, that was number 2. I
Okay, I'm
think.
about to say I know I've heard it before. I know.
Probably like one of my top ones on like
Okay,
in the list, you know, in the algorithm.
that's probably where I heard it. Though. I love that song, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, man.
Well, dude, we're definitely gonna get you out here to Louisiana, play some music.
I'd love to.
Yeah, I'll text you and figure out some time frames, and we'll get some stuff going for sure. But I'd love it, man, and we'll get it figured out. I appreciate you doing this, man. I know you're busy just like all the rest of us, but I appreciate taking the time to do it.
I'm thankful for people like you who support the scene, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. We'll have to pin Grant up and get him out here too. He gotta come see his girl at some point anyway, right? So we'll get him out here. All right, man. I appreciate you again, buddy. We'll do it again.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, buddy. Be good.